welcome to the UAE Desert Challenge 2005, a spectacular event that forms the final runs of both the FIA and the FIM Cross-Country Rally World Cups. 123 competitors have travelled from 27 nations to Dubai for this year's Desert Challenge. And Mohammed Ben Salim is the driving force behind the event, which he launched in 1991.
This is, I would say, a friendly event out of the whole championship, because they will see me as a chairman or as an organizer. They have access to my telephone. They can come and talk to me all the time, and talking about small things like even shipping your car or getting your spare parts. If you get it stuck, if it's stuck in the customs, and you might lose the event or you might lose some of the parts, I mean, that's nothing worse than this, because all of the traveling you did to come here and then suddenly you can't do it. So my organization is friendly, and that's why you will see the interest. They don't take the event as only a competition, but they take it also as a tourist place, because it is a hospitable country.
Well, two times Desert Challenge winner and defending Dakar Rally champion Stefan Peter Hansel is here in a Mitsubishi Pajero Evolution.
I was not very lucky last year because we crashed, we broke a transmission the first day. You know, the Dubai Rally is not very easy rally because the condition is very hard with the sand, very soft sand. The condition is always very hard with the temperature here. So it's only 4 or 5 days, but it's not easy race.
German driver Ellen Luhr, perhaps most notable for her touring car driving of the 1990s, is here in a Mercedes-Benz ML350 prototype, enjoying its world debut.
We had a very nice and successful test in Tunisia for 2 weeks, but the sand is of course different, very different. That's the reason why we are here. We have to be prepared 100% for Dakar, and of course we have sand in Dakar, so we have to do that. It's hot, that's good to see if the temperatures are right in the car. And as you mentioned, it's the world debut of the all-new Mercedes M-Class. We are all quite excited and happy to have the debut here in Dubai.
Well, Spaniard Marc Coma holds the motorcycle championship lead, but French riders Casteau and Desprez are only points away.
Now I have 10 points in front, so normally it's a good difference, but now is we have one race in front, and it's 5 days, 500 kilometers in front, and normally it's everything is possible. No, David and Cyril, they can push, and I don't know what happened, but normally is a good race, and it's in the desert, and desert always is hard, and I have a good feeling, and I'm very happy to be here. It's a very good race, and I hope that I can get the points enough to be a world champion.
Well, David Casteau finished third in Egypt, but he's not receiving factory support for this event and had to raise his own sponsorship. Yes, it's been very difficult, but taking part in rally raids is my passion, so it's very much worth it. There's no sport quite like it for me. You must first have a real respect for the desert to stand any chance of making it to the finish. This is not an area of desert that I'm familiar with. It's very much new to me, but the demands it will make are very, very much the same. Yes, I think I'm a rider with a chance, but it's a long way to the finish. So we'll just have to wait and see what the end of the week brings. The scrutineering took place in Dubai's In Batata Mall. All 123 prototype cars, modified four-wheel drive vehicles, trucks and bikes requiring absolute regulation compliance before they can be allowed to race. It was also a perfect opportunity for drivers, riders and vehicles to be seen first-hand by the public before they were treated to the first of the racing action outside on a custom-built 2-kilometre prologue sand track, where both starting positions and points were being raced for. all eyes were on German driver Ellen Lohr, this being her first venture into the FIA Cross Country Rally World Cup. Despite her many years of circuit racing experience, Mitsubishi Works driver Jean Roma from Spain completed his lap in 1 minute 55 seconds. Spain's Jose Luis Montero in his BMW X5 got round in 2 minutes and 7 seconds. But it's Peter Hansel who was fastest, completing a 1:54 lap. After winning the Dakar Rally for the second time in a row earlier this year, Peter Hansel has since suffered a series of mechanical problems, costing him a victory in Argentina, Morocco and Spain. Portuguese rider Ricardo Leal dos Santos was the fastest quad at 1:54. The Russian trio of Shagan, Konopko and Niklaus proved a crowd pleaser in their Kamaz truck, leading the circuit in a respectable 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Moving swiftly onto the bikes, Frenchman Cyril Dupre, the 2003 world champion, will be hot on the heels of Mark Coma, trying to secure his 4th Desert Challenge victory in just 5 years. David Casteau, the self-sponsored rider and possibly more focused of the two, was round in 1:54. But Spaniard Mark Coma rose to the challenge, boasting the fastest circuit of the day with 1:51. So after an exciting opener, the teams moved early next morning to the luxurious Emirates Palace Hotel in the capital city of Abu Dhabi for the ceremonial start. There was also a final chance for last-minute preparations, hydration, drinks and rest before the competitors head on down to the special stage, a fast 283-kilometre competitive section finishing at the event's bivouac, the rally's desert base for 4 nights near the Liwa Oasis. Event organiser Mohammed Ben Solian took on the responsibility of flagging competitors away, one of the first being Polish rider Marek Dabrowski on his KTM 660 rally. Followed closely by one of the biggest names in desert racing, Cyril Dupre of France. At the stage start, those prologue places definitely start to take effect. Riders with a top 10 finish have the opportunity to opt for later starting places, which enables them to follow the tracks of other competitors and thus gain a slight advantage. The downside, of course, is you have more people to pass safely. Dupre opted to start behind fellow countryman David Casteau, while Mark Coma is still content starting higher up the field. It's a gamble that could go either way. In fact, the event is particularly tough for bikes, and it should be mentioned their riders. Each leg consists almost entirely of deep, loose sand and dunes, and it only takes a brief lapse in concentration, and the rider can be literally catapulted off the bike. Even local quad rider Sharif Al-Dabous was caught out by the first drop 2 kilometres into the first stage, when he split his chin on his handlebars and was forced to return to the start for first aid treatment before continuing his race. There were no problems, however, for Peter Hansel, whose bid for a hat-trick of Desert Challenge victories had been destroyed by first-day mechanical failure last year. This year's version of the Mitsubishi got off to a trouble-free start. Teammate Roma was not so lucky. Driving an earlier version of the Mitsubishi, he was trapped in sand for 5 minutes and rapidly dropped down the field. After finishing third in the Dubai Prologue, local driver Ahmed bin Sukat with Jassim Alabushi in the Chevrolet pickup were still holding their own in the face of some very experienced competition. Well, the first fuel stop and it's trouble for Coma as he fails to restart the bike after refueling and is forced to push his bike back to his mechanics. The fuel stop is a set time and riders are penalised should they leave before their due time. But when second place Casteau turns up, the pressure on Coma increases to get back on the road. Casteau is sympathetic, but he too has had his problems.
Rallye raid, very difficult. Je suis tombé dans une petite dune les
I
premières.
came off the bike on a small dune in the first stage.
Particulière
The dunes here in Dubai are particularly tricky, but really good. Meanwhile, as the rider's tension obviously mounts, the KTM team manager explains the problem with Kaima's bike.
We need to change the battery, but the mechanics is not a very fast solution. But after 9 minutes, at the moment, is not problem this, but it's not a good sensation now.
Well, Mark Kerma itching to get back on the bike as the team work on, but it's rival Casteau who gets away first. Of the cars, it's favourite Petter Hansel who's first into the control. There's Mitsubishi Pajero showing every sign of leaving the rest of the field well and truly in its dust. Join us back in the desert after the break. Welcome back to the UAE Desert Challenge 2005, where we find the Chevrolet pickup of locals Yaha Aleli and Khalid Al-Kendi making a surprise stop at the bike fuel stop on stage 1.
I drive when we start before the BC1, I lose the power steering hydraulic. Then I drive without power steering, then I try to finish. My service now we're doing quickly, and the rally is very good, staged, 10 minutes, but it's the beginning of the rally now, first time.
Well, the Liberty team were able to execute a fast repair on the power steering and were off, having only lost a few minutes. With the advantage of Aleli's excellent local knowledge and over 4 days racing still ahead of them, this brief stoppage shouldn't be a problem. British pairing of Mark Parr and Tim Ansell make up Team Saluki in their very well-equipped Land Rover Defender, running 5th after day 1. Petter Hansel, winner of the last 2 Dakar rallies, produced a stunning performance in his Mitsubishi, surprising everyone with his speed. He finished the leg some 25 minutes ahead of his nearest rival, Montard, in the BMW X5.
It was a very nice stage. It was sometimes very fast and sometimes it was very slowly in the dune. For the first stage it's perfect, and for me it was a good stage because no mistake for the navigation, and we won the stage, so it's okay.
Well, despite those battery problems early in the stage, Spaniard Mark Kerma was still able to finish 3rd in the leg.
We changed the battery, and after at the end of the special I started the problems again, but I'm lucky because I arrived at the Vivac. I'm here, and I hope that tomorrow we don't have more problems. The desert races are hard. Normally the race is important. Now I want to finish this race and get the points, but we have 4 days more in front. It's long, so we must be careful and not take a risk, and I hope no have more problems.
Cyril Dupre's tactic of leaving the stage start later and making up time following the tracks of others seemed to pay off after he finished the day in 1st place. Nevertheless, it still hadn't been exactly a trouble-free day.
I was riding nearly 200 k's without clutch. I left the pressure in the clutch, and was not so easy in the beginning to have the good gear and to shift the gear without clutch. Normally it's not an automatic bike, and we need the clutch, but nevertheless I make a good day, and we try to have a look what's going on, but it's a really small problem. It just came a little bit too much attack, a little bit too much aggressivity maybe, and very hot and a lot of dune, and it's a big mix, and that's why the result it's like this.
Well, after the first day of a long, hard event, competitors settle into the bivouac for the first of 3 nights. And it's a pre-dawn start for all riders and drivers as they prepare the day's course notes, vital in enabling them to drive as fast as possible in unknown terrain. The second leg will take competitors in a loop through the giant dunes that surround the Liwa Oasis. And it's Dupre who's first away, followed closely by fellow Frenchman David Casteau. And then Mark Comer, who opts for an alternative route to the first passage control in the hope of gaining back some of his 9-minute deficit. In the cars, there seems to be no stopping the Mitsubishi Pajero of Stefan Peter Hansel and co-driver Jean-Paul Contré, who are again flying through the dunes and making the art of desert driving appear far simpler than it really is. Following in second, but already a good 35 minutes behind the flying Frenchman, is the BMW X5 of Spaniard José Luis Montero and co-driver Italian Tiziana Siviero. The UAE's Samad bin Suqat was still in contention for a podium finish if he was able to catch Roma, whilst his Liberty teammate Yaha Haleli was hot on his heels after rapidly putting yesterday's setback behind him. In the trucks category, the Russian Kamaz team of Shagin, Konopko and Nikolaev were leading their class, demonstrating here the advantage the sheer bulk of their machine can have in the deep sand. Ellen Laura suffered a spectacular exit when her Mercedes ML350 rolled in the early part of the day's first special stage.
First stage I lost my co-driver because he had to get out of the car because he had some health problems. And today we could start again, but I made a major mistake on the dune, and so we made a big roll down the dune, and we have to stop the race. So that was my first rollover, and I did not enjoy it.
Well, the day was also going badly for Mitsubishi's Jean Roma, forced to withdraw because of suspected food poisoning. He retired from the day, but after a trip to the course medic, he expects to return to the race tomorrow. At the end of the leg, there's nothing between the three main riders. As Dupre pulls in, Comer is just a few seconds behind him, with Casto finishing in a well-ridden third. After time adjustments, Dupre leads by 4 minutes 3 seconds from Spain's Mark Comer. We asked him how he found the stage.
We're riding nearly together. It's really hard to make a big difference in this kind of stage. There's no track, and the desert is so big, and you need to go a little bit more quiet because you never reach the finish.
Well, Mark Comer is still on track to win the World Championship should he avoid any major problems. We asked him if he was happy with his second overall position.
Yeah, it's a good day. The best important is we forget the problems, I hope. But at the moment we forget the problems, so that is the most important. It's not hard day, but it's not easy also, no? So it's a half day. Normally in the dunes we don't push a lot, but I feel good. I'm happy to be here.
Leading the quads, Ricardo Leal dos Santos finished the stage first in class, despite issues with his navigation. We asked him to explain what had happened.
It was a hard day. I have no time. I think the connection was too short in time. I have no time. I get lost because I have no trips, so I get lost. Something cut the wires, so I do all day with no navigation, no trips. So I have to navigate only by the GPS, but it's slightly dangerous because you cannot see the dangers written in the road book. I'm just controlling the French cahier. He's just passed now. He arrived later than me, so I earned time for him, which is the more important stuff.
Arriving just short of an hour ahead of his nearest rival, surely Peter Hansel was happy with the way things were going.
It was a very good day today. 2 stages, but it was not very easy stage. The second was long, more than 200 kilometers, only in off-road, only in a sand dune, we never took a very fast track, so it was very easy to stuck, but to lose the road and to make a mistake. But for me on Jean Paul it was perfect. Another good stage.
While barring incident, the BMW X5 of Monterd already looked unlikely to catch the Mitsubishi. He wasn't, however, going to be holding on to second without a fight from keen local driver Eleli, arriving in the finish exhausted, but just 10 minutes behind.
Today it is my stage. It's my the road, you know. The Liwa, I know how we drive it. The car, like BMW or Mitsubishi, they have too much power. My car is automatic manual. It's not manual, automatic gears. It's not. I have very problem when I go to dunes down. But alhamdulillah, I do good. I take maybe 14, 13 minutes from the BMW, and the racing still 3 days more. And we'll make tomorrow slowly, step by step. We'll try to catch.
So while crews take the well-earned opportunity to cool off at the end of day 2, service teams knuckle down to ensure cars, bikes and trucks are fit to make the start of day 3 the following morning. A morning which brought competitors the fresh prospect of 354 kilometres of typically hard going on the Al Batan stage. Day which spared no one the toughest rigours of desert rallying. Here in the heart of the UAE, there's no avoiding the dunes, an exercise which can be immensely hard on crews as well as their cars or bikes.
The fatigue and the dehydration is the biggest problem in the desert event. While you are driving, it's not a problem. While you are riding, especially in a bike. But the problem is if you fell off your bike or you get stuck or you have a problem. And then when you push, the whole of your energy that you can consume in, for example, 5 hours driving, it will be gone in 30 seconds. And that's where the drivers do not understand, some of them who are not professional, and then they just go and faint or the dehydration.
Well, facing such a task, the physical welfare of all crews is obviously top priority for the organisers, as the chief medic explains.
3 years ago, when I participated for the first time in this rally as a member of the team, the medical team, we had one death case. One German man was disoriented and was lost in the desert for 2 hours, and we found him very far away, and he was almost mummified. So the only explanation was actually dehydration. Last year, we had a very serious case of hyponatremia, which is the low sodium in the blood. This incident last year made me think about this procedure to bring a mobile laboratory to the event.
Well, regular testing of all competitors is a vital daily procedure. Blood test results providing proof that hydration levels are being maintained.
It's very good for me to know what to do, eat salt, or if I have to drink more, or it's good experience to know my body. It's also good in the morning that you know you have enough water inside, because sometimes I have not. But this machine tells me when it tells me I'm okay, I go even faster.
Rider Paul Anders Lovalsiter certainly showed no signs of suffering any physical ailments, finishing the 3rd day in 4th place, half an hour behind the leader. We've got more from the UAE Desert Challenge after the break. Welcome back to the 2005 UAE Desert Challenge. It's day 3, and as we can see, 2nd place Jose Luis Monterd is pushing his BMW X5 hard. Yes, things are going well, but it's still very, very tough. This is a fast-moving part of the world, and as this country develops, more and more tarmac roads are being built out into the desert. So the organisers each year have to take the route further and further into the dunes, and I think it's getting harder as a result. Well, the crew had indeed suffered quite a bit in the dunes that day. They stopped on more than one occasion and lost around 20 minutes in their attempts to recover the BMW from the sands. Meanwhile, we asked the team manager how the X5 had evolved.
The car has got quite some new features on there. We put the engine further down, further back, so the normal things, put the center of gravity is lower. Suspension we changed a lot, and obviously the body shape with some aerodynamic things is completely new. I think we can do a very important step forward. It's not a completely new car. When you have a car which is running as our BMW X5 here, you don't change everything because that would be quite stupid. You change where you think you can develop and you can advance. So we left a lot of things like the gearbox, like the diffs. We have some changes in there, but nothing major. Drive shafts, a lot of parts are really what we had before because they are reliable, they are very good, and Dakar is the most important thing is reliability.
Well, Montero and Seviera may have lost 20 minutes recovering their BMW, but many others took a great deal longer to rescue their vehicles from the clutches of the dunes. Seen here among them, the Nissan Pathfinder of French driver Joe Rosso and the Mitsubishi Pajero of Russian Leonid Novitsky. Meanwhile, the Russians were still charging hard to maintain the lead in the truck class. Their Kamaz 4911 coping admirably with the conditions. Here at the UAE Desert Challenge, as is always the case in rally raids, navigation is never a straightforward business, and keeping track of the whereabouts of every competitor is top priority for the organisers.
We know inside the office is where everybody, even if he stops, we talk to him. If he tells us he has a flat tire or he stopped because he's stuck, we know he's all right. But what if a biker falls off his bike and then he's unconscious? That's when we know. We give him 3 minutes, and if he doesn't talk, we know. We pinpoint where he is, and then we send the helicopter straight away. We are not wasting, of course. The most important thing is the crucial time to reach him and then take him to a proper hospital.
So should that call come, the responsibility of getting out to the stricken rider or crew as quickly as possible falls to the search and rescue team.
I might have to stand you by. I'm unable to establish comms with the Puma, and we'll have a big emergency.
Indeed, as we filmed, an emergency call came through on the satellite phone and the team leapt into action.
We have an alarm set off, and there were 3 alarms, but this can be, we cannot talk to them if they are riding, so because they are okay, that's no point. So I believe that we had the first problem of that the car was stationary for a few minutes, and then the alarm set off, then somebody would come later on and he would see it, and then he would set off.
In this instance, Polish rider Marek Dowrowski had fallen and broken his left arm and was immediately airlifted to hospital.
I just hate this part of it, that it is such a responsibility. Only thing as an organizer I can do is make sure that the proper medical team is there as fast as possible.
Well, the knowledge that such support is at hand is, of course, a great reassurance to riders and crews, but nevertheless, the risks they're running are high. Stefan Peter-Hansel is no stranger to such risks, but nevertheless maintains his huge lead as day 3 draws to a close. We caught up with him at the stage finish to ask him about the day's difficulties. I think this is a very tough environment and you have to respect it. The people who come from here, who come from this place, they understand it, they know its character. But for us to come here as outsiders, as foreigners, we have a very difficult time. When you're in the dunes, you see very little. When you're going up, all you can see is sky. It's very dangerous, very easy to get lost, very easy to hit a hazard too late and too fast. It's good experience to take on to bigger events such as those in Africa, but you have to be careful. While Cyril Dupre and Mark Comer stormed off as the leading pair in the bikes, others, including third place David Casteau, were more content just to ease off and finish the day's stage. We asked the French rider how he was faring.
Oui.
Well, yes, I'm afraid it's true. I feel a bit ashamed to say it, but I fell again today. The Dubai Desert is a tough place to ride. I seem to be falling off pretty much on a daily basis. And it can be hard work to get going again, to get the bike up, to get back on the bike and to regain your confidence. I'm still happy with the way things are going. Well, if you thought the rally left all the luxuries of Middle East life behind when it left Dubai, you'd be wrong. The remaining hours of daylight couldn't be wasted by the service crews, however, among them the members of Team Saluki, who were working hard to ensure their vehicle made the next day's start. We asked Mark Powell about the team's Land Rover.
It looks like a standard Land Rover, but anything that doesn't need to be on it has been cut off. Everything's been strengthened. We've got new engines, gearboxes, transfer cases, etc., etc. This vehicle, 3 years ago, we got a 5th position overall, second in class. The year after that, we got a DNF. Unfortunately, that's rallying. And last year, we got a 7th overall and first in the Middle East.
So an impressive record for the team in previous years, and with it the experience which in theory would help them make it through this year's event. We asked the co-driver Tim Ansell how things were going.
The prologue, we're never good at the prologues, short twisty little run, so we were 16th and we thought, right, we've got a point to prove. Day one we came in and end of the day we were 5th place, which was fantastic. And day two started off very well in the morning. I made a navigational error in the afternoon on the second stage, but Mark drove like a man possessed to get us back up. We finished 3.5 minutes inside our 3-hour 45-minute allotted time, which was great, right to the edge, but we made it. And by I think 8 o'clock last night we found out that we were 4th, so absolutely fantastic. Everyone was really happy about that. And then this morning we hadn't done 3 minutes into the stage and all of a sudden there was a bag of nails in the gearbox or whatever it was that had dropped, and we got back here. The guys are working on the gearbox now, as you can hear behind me. A lot of people have had problems in this race. It ain't over till it's over, and we'll be racing for another 2 days. And who knows, we'll see where we can end up, see what we can do.
So up bright and early with the Camels, day 4 and 290 kilometres of the Nissan stage lie ahead. The last loop stage before the final run back towards Dubai City and the finish line the following day. Bike leader Cyril Dupre was the first to leave the start, although as we can see it wasn't long before mild confusion set in with regard to the exact direction in which he should head. Following in the Frenchman's fresh tracks, Mark Comer repeated the mistake, showing that GPS isn't always the rider's main point of reference. Among the cars, there was little change to the overall order. With the year's mechanical gremlins apparently behind him, Stefan Perhansel is poised to clinch an emphatic 3rd victory in the UAE Desert Challenge. So, barring a disaster befalling Peter Hansel, which would threaten his 1 hour 49-minute lead, Montero would have to be satisfied with 2nd place. relaxed-looking Mark Comer calmly cleans his goggles at the fuel stop. Second place, Cyril Dupre explains the symptoms of an air cleaner blockage to his crew, who quickly source the problem. Third and fourth overall, David Casto and Paul Anders Alvazata reached the stop together. His air cleaner unblocked and the misfire cured, Dupre sets off in hot pursuit of stage leader Comer, knowing his overall lead is rather too slim to allow the Spaniard to gain too big an advantage for the day. Still enjoying his comfortable lead among the quads, Ricardo Leal dos Santos pulls into the fuel hole, reporting no problems in the stage so far. And showing no signs whatsoever of backing off despite his massive lead, Peter Hansel seems to be revelling in his Mitsubishi's newfound reliability. While teammate Roma is back in the event after recovering from his bout of food poisoning. We'll have more from the UAE Desert Challenge after the break. Welcome back. We're heading towards the closing stages of the 2005 UAE Desert Challenge. Plenty of news so far from the leading factory-supported entries, but what are the top privateers?
Put into my racing is just for hobby and for fun, and I'll be lucky if it goes any further. I'm Australian. I'm not the right nationality for the sponsors, so it's life, but I just do it for fun and to show the other boys what I can do sometimes, that's all.
Ninth placed Lee Palmer of Australia there. Slightly further up the overall table, Spanish rider Jordi Duran Cadena is happy with his 6th position. I'm having a really good rally and everything is going well. I'm very happy with the result that I'm having so far. I had a big fall, but I'm recovering really well. Third place Frenchman David Casto, who began the event lying second in the world title race, had a bad finish to the day, rolling his bike just 5 kilometers before the stage finish.
À 5 km de l'arrivée, j'étais avec Polo.
Yes, 5 kilometers before the finish. Everything was going well. And then I just had a lapse in concentration. I wasn't paying attention. As I went over the top of a small dune, well, the bike went one way, and I went the other. I was thrown right off the bike. Well, after losing the stage to Comer but remaining well on course for victory, Dupre was nevertheless concerned about making it to the finish.
Nobody, any result is finished when, and it will be when we cross the finish line. But yeah, the strategy from the beginning was good. Some training, some testing. For the moment, this Dubai Rally 2005 was a good. And now we wait for the finish line.
Well, Comer, of course, enjoyed the stage win, but as he explains, his sights were set firmly on the world title, which his second overall place would give him. Only 8 minutes between him and Dupre for the event lead, but second place would do Comer just fine.
Today, just before the CP2, it was very big dunes, not much long, with 3-4 Ks, and we are lucky because we pass perfect place. It's not much difficult, and the stage it's easy today. The navigation was easy and not much kilometers also. So tomorrow is the last day, and it's a very important day. So I think it's the important is control the day and control the head and control everything. No, we try. It's not easy.
Well, by the end of the day, Peter Hansel's Mitsubishi Pajero was a massive 2 hours 31 minutes ahead of the BMW X5 of Spain's José Luis Montard.
It was a good day again, and it was a very nice stage because it was not only completely off-road in a dune. Sometimes it was in a fast track, sandy track. Sometimes we drive in a short after in a dune. So it was very nice today. I think for me the best stage. This one is very nice.
Well, after being sidelined for the previous 2 days by food poisoning, Peter Hansel's Mitsubishi teammate, Spain's Jan Roma, celebrated his return to action by being placed second on the day, albeit more than 8 minutes behind the master.
It's a great day today. 2 days in the morning in the hospital, in the afternoon in the hotel. It's very bad, and it's good. I feel good. This morning I start. It's not very well, but every kilometer is more better. One time I stop from it's my belt. It's too close, and after it's okay. In the end of the stage, I enjoy. I make the very good training. Today it's the hard day. The sun is too soft, and it's very good for me. It's before the Dakar.
So time then to enjoy the last night's break before the rally took its final turn for home. The last stage, which would bring the Desert Challenge to its conclusion in Dubai. Starting before sunrise, competitors launched themselves at 2 more stages of 122 and 184 kilometres before Monday's finish at Dubai International Marine Club. 2 comparatively short stages, but each holding the potential for upset. Heading for the conclusion of the 2,260-kilometre event and his 3rd victory in the event in 4 years, Peter Hansel was giving nothing away, but must surely have been little short of overjoyed at finally appearing to have overcome the recurring problems which have dogged the Mitsubishi throughout what's been a frustrating season for the Frenchman. following up to the final control to secure his 4th Desert Challenge win in 4 years. Cyril Defray had a winning margin of 11 minutes 20 seconds from a jubilant Coma.
It's never easy, but I wanted to make my own strategy, and with my friend Titu, and we were talking a lot in the plane, and to know what's it's possible to do and what we need to do, and finally, sure, I take a good start, and in 5 days I needed to go fast half of a day to make the big difference. We overtake to everybody 10 minutes 2 days ago, and was okay.
Satisfied with his 2nd overall place, Mark Coma had secured the world title.
I'm very happy, no? This is the end of the season, and I get the world championship, so for me it's the best, no? It's a dream. But no, it's now continues. We have the Dakar after 1 month and a half, and that is the important thing, and we have to work for this.
David Casteau was a further 27 minutes behind in 3rd place, claiming runners-up spot in the FIM Cross Country Rallies World Championship. Meanwhile, representatives from the Mitsubishi factory were breathing great sighs of relief as Peter Hansel's Pajero cruised comfortably to the end of the stage.
I think we won with Jean-Paul with maybe more than 2 hours of advantage between me and the second, so it's a big difference. But yes, you say it's never easy to win, sure, because it's very easy to do a mistake. It's a long race, so it's possible to have some technical problem. But for this race in Dubai, it was perfect. For the team, it's perfect because the car. I use the car every day at maximum without problem, so it's a perfect for a driver when you can push the car at the limit without trouble.
Not something he's been able to enjoy doing in the past season. Anyway, in the bikes, Cyril Desprez takes the win, 11 seconds ahead of Mark Coma, with David Casteau in 3rd. Over in the cars, it's the mighty Stefan Peter Hansel who takes an enormous win of 3 hours over Jean Monteur of Spain, while Al Hali of UAE takes 3rd in the Chevrolet pickup. So 3rd in the World Cup, but more importantly on the day, 1st overall at the 2005 UAE Desert Challenge. And taking victory for the 4th time, Stefan Peter Hansel and co-driver Jean-Paul Cottret. So rounded off by a gala dinner at the Dubai International Marine Club at the Meridian Hotel, and in the presence of a surprise guest, the 2005 UAE Desert Challenge draws to a close.